I have never celebrated my birthday and I always spend it alone. I have met a girl recently, and I confessed to her why I hate birthdays. On my birthday she came to my state. We live in different states. She brings a gift, a candle, and she spent the whole morning with me. It was one of the best things someone did to me. She called me in the morning, so I wasn't ready for her visit. Like I was so fucking excited when I picked up my phone and she told me to prepare yourself, I will be there in 30 mn. AWW, this is my husband. He never celebrated his day until he met me. Even his ex-wife never celebrated it. She called me cute. That made me smile for the rest of my day. Lies, except this happened today. I can see your smile whenever you think about Thaf. I was homeless and around 21, over 22 years old. Couch surfing, trying to find a job. I was sitting in a mall food court filling out a job application. This older woman approached me, sat down and started talking to me out of nowhere. After talking for a few minutes, this lady handed me a $100 and told me to not worry, things will get better. She disappeared after that. I never saw her again. I hope things are going well for you now. About 20 years ago, I came out of a relationship that went totally wrong by the end. GF repeatedly cheated on me and then accused me of being the bad guy. I had an extended chat with a woman who was in extended group of friends and who had recently also broke up with her BF during a night out. Then we chatted some more for a week, mostly me complaining about the breakup. After that, she offered that we should just get away from everything for a week and drive to Italy for some R&R. And so, quite spur of the moment, we did. A week later, we were driving to Verona and had a great time there. It put life in perspective again and got me out of the pits and ready to get on with things. I'm forever grateful to her for that. Then accused me of being the bad guy. Victim blaming is an important tool for gaslighting. Been there, done that. Still have the emotional scars. Unbeknownst to me, my girlfriend conspired with my mother and sourced some examples of my late father's handwriting. She then had a metal key fob engraved with his signature and a few meaningful words he had written during his life. It was the most thoughtful gift I have ever received, and I'll treasure it and her forever. She's a keeper. Knitted me a pair of socks. Best gift I have ever received, hands down. She knitted them in the colors of my jacket and scarf so that they would be matching. It's just such a sweet gift knowing how much thought and time went into it. Stroked my hair as I fell asleep in her lap. Absolute bliss. That's one of my dreams, to have that one day. Voluntarily plays my Spotify playlist when I'm there, even though she hates my shit. Getting a thumbs up or something like that at the gym is also nice. This is solid, and I've never ever thought to do it. Be my girlfriend for the last 3.5 years and now I'm gonna marry her. When can I come to you guys' wedding? I will give you each a gift. Called me handsome. On a Tinder date, we were drinking at her place on the balcony and her neighbor called us over from next door. We went over and there was a few others there. At one point she noticed me being quiet and leaned in and was like, if you want to leave, tap me on the shoulder 3 times. As a boy with low social skills and bad anxiety, this gave me butterflies. It didn't work out between us, but I will always remember that. That is an awesome thing to do for anyone. I'll have to remember that. Gave me a sandwich and a glass of water after I mowed her lawn in addition to paying me $10. I agree with this 100%. If I'm doing something free of charge, I would really appreciate someone to make sure I'm hydrated. I will and have worked all day forgetting to drink or eat. One of my exes made me a comic about how we met from her perspective and included 3 Steam games at the back. It's honestly one of the best things I own. We need to see that comic if possible. Gave me her love, her time and her patience. I hope you are still together. I had a **** day at work one day, and the girl I was seeing came over to just chit chat after I told her I had a bad day. She didn't have to, but she asked if I wanted her to come over, and we talked for like 2 hours, and then she left. Best evening ever. Almost immediately I felt way better when I opened the door and saw her. Not the nicest thing ever, but today, when I was giving a few people some bad news in our company, a woman in my team, after hearing bad news related to her and tearing up about those news, asked me if I was okay dealing with all of this, because she noticed that I was trying to stay positive and strong for everyone else, and that it could not be easy for me, since I'm also being affected by the situation. Obviously not the nicest thing ever, but I think men's feelings are often overlooked, and it felt really nice to have someone look out for me and realize that I was hurting at that moment. Cooking a awesome dinner for me, and when we used to go out she used to enjoy trying food and having fun chat while trying new things. I really like people who are foodie. Back in high school, there was this girl we'll call McKenna. I was never close to her, but she was always really sweet. She'd always tell me good morning when she saw me. When I seemed down, she'd give me a hug, no questions asked, nothing said. Sometimes she'd ask how I was. I'm sure it wasn't the sweetest thing a girl's ever done for me, but it was the little things from someone I never truly got close with. Before we started speaking at all, I'd observe her out of curiosity, and I'd notice so many little things about her that even she doesn't seem to notice. I just graduated last week, and I'm gonna miss her. Compared to everyone at my school, she was so sweet and had the purest intentions. I really hope she goes far in life. She deserves it. You should ask her out, dude. Or at least get her socials and make an arrangement to meet. My ex-wife bought my Smash Ultimate when it came out. I had been talking about it and trying to figure out if I wanted it or not, since I had nobody to play with. So she got it, and when I was at work, she tried to learn a character, but ultimately told me she decided she hated the game before she revealed the present to me. I really wish I didn't have to resort to my ex to answer this, but I can't think of anything else a woman has done for me that couldn't be summarized as just being a decent human being. It's not much, but here's a virtual hug from a random stranger on Reddit. My girlfriend is a devout Muslim. I was too before I left the faith. We had to break up because it simply couldn't work. We were sitting together, both of us crying. It was very hot, almost 40 degrees, and Ramadan. Muslims have to fast. I wasn't fasting, but she was. She had brought me cookies and candies despite the fact she herself was fasting, and it's considered disrespect. But somehow she knew I wasn't fasting, and she brought food for me, even when we were breaking up. I think of her every day, and I don't think I can get a girl who loved me like she did, ever. Thank you for your responses. I know I won't be lonely forever, but it won't be her. She was with me throughout the most difficult and challenging period of my life. No one can replace that. This happened just recently. Third college in 5 years. Parents getting a divorce, a lot of family health issues in the last year. Also COVID. With all of that, I hadn't really been able to lock down a solid friend group throughout college. Last semester we got put into groups for one of my classes, and I got placed with this one girl. We got to talking and became pretty good friends actually. Sat next to each other every class, studied together, etc. Eventually she started inviting me to stuff with her friends. For the first time in my college life, I'm actually getting out there and meeting new people, and it feels great. My teacher or teachers who taught me enough to be self-paced learner. High school wasn't really the best of times for me. I really hated it. You really have no freedom of choice of what you can or can't do, plus I was really awkward. One day a girl we used to go to German class together hugged me out of the blue. It was cold outside, so the warmness of the hug as an emotion was topped with the actual warmth of body heat. I wasn't used to that kind of stuff, so I didn't hug her back, just stood there and enjoyed it. I really hope she is well, and her kindness comes back to her. It's a weird one. I was seeing this girl, and took her to a metal show some of my friends were playing at, and she ended getting drunk and flirting with a bunch of other guys. I wasn't entirely comfortable with this, but I just started drinking and hanging out with my friends and just gave up on it. Later that night I kept having gorgeous women come up and talk to me, touch my shoulders, compliment me, etc. I'd been hit on at shows before, but something was going on here. Turns out my old bass player was there with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was pissed. So she kept convincing other girls at the show in the girls' restroom to go flirt with me to piss off the girl I brought to the show, and it worked. She was huffing mad and then tried to talk to me. She was very drunk and called me a slut. I got her home safe that night and never spoke to her again. But I was just flattered that like a dozen women felt the call of justice in my behalf. Totally baller move by the bass player's girlfriend. Man, if that was me, and I found out later, it would have been a meal on me at the very least. GGWP. She didn't make much, but she scrimped and saved for several months to buy me a very expensive cooler for work. A woman gave my friend the best piece of advice. Give up alcohol. He has not touched a drop of alcohol over 24 years. It was to show him that his behavior was not the greatest when he was on alcohol. GF during freshman year 2017, she made fried Oreos and was so excited to have me try them. She then bought me Chipotle for first time and we shared it. My high school sweetheart married me and has given me 6 kids, so that's pretty awesome. I think she may like you. Compliments and support.